video, I'm going to be upgrading my rear surround sound speakers to these Polk Audio RC265 RTs. Currently I have Polk Audio RC55Is for my rear surrounds, which they've been great for the last several years. But it's time for an upgrade, time for something that's a little more crisp in the sound, something that's got a little more bass to it. I've already upgraded the front channel speakers to the 265 LS models. I did that maybe about a year ago, and that was a huge improvement. I just didn't really have the funds at the time to do the rears. Now that I found these 265 RTs on sale, I picked them up on Amazon on their Prime deal days. Now it's time to install them. What the speaker looks like out of the box. It's obviously quite a bit bigger than the RC55i. So we're going to put the template over the pre-existing hole. We'll trace it out with a Sharpie and cut the hole out a little bit bigger. Now this is the Vanishing series, and this is the speaker cover. It is only about 1/16 of an inch thick, and it's magnetic. So these fit flush, and this will just magnetically attach to the front face. That's kind of why it's called the Vanishing series. If you were to paint the grill to match the paint on your wall, you're hardly ever going to be able to see it. Here's a close-up look at the back side. Well, you're just going to have your positive and negative right here. All you got to do is push them down and push the speaker wire in. And you have these turn locks right here all the way around that they're going to fit into the drywall. You tighten them up and it automatically locks itself in place. So for a size comparison, you can see here that it is quite a bit bigger. Now to remove this speaker, you need to pry away the grill. The grills on these speakers are nice. They're just not the magnetic Vanishing series. So they stick out about 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch. But you just need to peel this grill off, and that's going to expose the mounting screws. We're just going to turn those counterclockwise, and then the speaker should come right out. So before I unhook this, I just want to double check the wiring. I have a blue stripe on the black, and the red is clear. I just want to make sure that wire doesn't fall behind the wall. And this is kind of the same style. You have these turn locks. As you turn the screws, these turn and lock right into the drywall and kind of suck itself into place. And now what you do is you take the provided template, and I'm just going to set it over the hole that I just removed the speaker from. I'm just going to line up the two sides. So that will give me two sides less that I have to cut. And then you're going to use a level. You can either put it on the side or on the top of your template. And you're going to make sure that your template is completely level. And then we're just going to trace the template with a Sharpie marker. And then we're just going to go ahead and cut it all out. Right up here, which is already cut, over to here, come straight down. I'm just going to come right across here, which is already cut out. I put my speaker wire back behind there so I wouldn't cut it. And then we'll just remove this piece of drywall. This is a drywall saw. Looks like this. It's going to have a really sharp point on it. And that's actually for like a corner like this. You can just line up your corner and hit the end of it. And that's how you can start in a corner. I'm just going to go ahead and start right here. Just saw back and forth, go all the way up, over, down, and we'll be able to pull this right out. Should come out there in one piece. We should be able to pop that new speaker right in. Now, as you're fitting this in place, you want to make sure that all those locking feet are inward. Make sure your speaker wire is correctly connected. And now we just need to tighten up these locking tabs. Go ahead and use your cordless drill driver to get these snug. But then to tighten them, you're going to want to use a hand screwdriver. That's why I recommend the drill driver, and then just tighten by hand when you get close. You can kind of feel a little bit of tension. You're going to let off the drill driver, and then we'll tighten those up by hand. And I like to just push in a little bit, give it a little bit of a turn, maybe about 1/4 to 1/2 of a turn. You don't want to crack the housing. Now before we put the grill on, we want to make our adjustments. So right here on the right lower side, you have the tweeter, filter, and norm. Now if you have a hardwood floor, or let's say a non-carpeted room, you're going to want to push this in to filter. So if you have a carpeted room with a lot of furniture, you're going to want this to normal. Basically, filter is going to be turned on in a room if your room was kind of, we'll say, reflective, or there's going to be a lot of kind of bounce noise. But basically, if you have carpet, you're going to leave your tweeter switch on normal. Now you have your wall distance switch. So here you can see I'm only about 8 inches away from my sidewall. So I'm going to push in my wall distance space because I'm less than 2 feet away from this sidewall. So if you're more than 2 feet, you're going to have your wall distance switch out. If you don't do this correctly, the speaker is going to kind of sound a little bit boomy. It's not going to be a deep, tight bass. It's just going to be more of a boomy sound. Now we can go ahead and install these speaker grills. I'm going to bring it up kind of close so you guys can see how thin it is. That's why it's called the Vanishing Series. So if I wanted to use this same paint color on these grills, you would probably never even see it. As you can see, there's no clips at all. This is magnetic. So you're just kind of going to get it lined up a little bit close, and then you can just kind of wiggle it back and forth, up and down, and you'll feel it just kind of pop into place. Now that that side's completely done, we still have the other side to do. So that's what the other side looks like, and I'm just going to kind of bring it back over to this side so you guys can see the difference. As you can see, that speaker is quite a bit bigger. And back over to here. We're basically going to be taking that out and reinstalling the new one exactly the same way. Now with the speaker just kind of snug into place, you want to use your level and make sure that the speaker is level. Once you have it where you want it, go ahead and tighten it up all the way. And here's a close-up of what the speaker looks like before you put the grill on. I'm going to bring the camera in up closer so you guys can see exactly how close to the wall this thing actually is. You should be able to see it's only about 1/16 of an inch thick sticking out of the wall. The speaker is securely mounted. We go ahead and pop on the speaker grill. Now that that speaker is installed, the two rears are totally done. I'm ready to go ahead and put in some movies, listen to some action and adventure, and see how great they sound.